Hello and welcome to Three Sisters, One Heart podcast. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Heather.
And today we are going to talk about the things in life that have made us who we are. So what different, for me, I took this as kind of like, what kind of stuff that do we have to get through to kind of affect who we are and our personalities in life, right?
Yeah.
So before we get into that, though, we're going to go over our trials. And let me just preface this again with a apology. I know our scheduled podcasting times have not been on. It's weird days, guys. We're just going to podcast when we can get together on podcast. We're trying to stick to a schedule, but stuff happens, life happens. And this is where we're at right now, so bear with us.
This is just the season that we're in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, so who would like to start with trials?
I have to do a 3-hour glucose test tomorrow.
Ugh, gross. I hated that.
And the 1-hour one makes me nauseous, so
Ugh.
I'm not looking forward to how much double that's gonna make
Plus,
me feel.
then you have to sit there
And
that
I have to
whole
fast
time.
beforehand. And
Yeah.
Well, the
I'm
good
looking forward
news
to
is,
it.
I mean, I know that the test itself is hard, and I get that, but the good news is that if it does come back that you are positive, or what's the correct term? I guess positive. If you do
Yeah.
gestational diabetes, you only have a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I only have 6 more weeks
It's
tops.
Not
so,
a whole
yeah.
lot longer that you have to like alter your diet.
Which my doctor was like, oh yeah, they didn't call you. I was like, nope.
Well, you said that you were just barely.
I was
over.
literally, you're not supposed to pass 130. I was at 131.
Yeesh.
So, and she said the only reason she's actually concerned is because baby is quite large.
Yes, baby, it's not lacking.
No, and
And
by
anything.
quite large, I mean I'm 33 weeks and she's already over 5 pounds. Like 5.5 pounds.
Well, I used to tell people that those ultrasounds, like, they're never accurate, whatever. But a girlfriend of mine, like, they were on the same track, telling her the same thing, and she just spit out a 10-pound baby.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
I'm like, maybe they are right sometimes.
Occasionally.
They
Yeah.
will not let me have her vaginally if she is over, I think, 8.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
that ups my chance of my scar rupturing,
Yeah.
which could kill me and baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, not worth
So-
it.
And how
not
big was
worth
Jack?
it.
He
Jack
was smaller.
Jack was tiny.
How big was Matt then? He was the
Matt was
biggest-
7'7" at 3 weeks early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jack was a couple days past his due date, like 2 days, and he was 6'11".
All right.
I'd forgotten that Matt was early. So he would have
yeah.
been a real,
He
real
would have
big
been
baby.
quite a big baby too.
Probably, yeah.
Oy.
So unless I happen to go early with this one, it's likely if she keeps growing the way she's growing that I'll have to have another C-section, which also is a bummer.
But whatever
But
it is,
as
you
long
get
as
the
I have
prize.
a happy, healthy baby, I'm good.
mm-hmm.
I'll deal with recovery.
Yeah.
I mean,
just want the
obviously,
healthy baby.
the ideal is the VBAC, of course.
Yes.
But nobody's getting prizes. Well, I mean, you get the prize. You get the baby
Yeah,
regardless.
you get the prize no matter what.
So, just try to be optimistic. I know it's scary. Especially.
It's just the recovery that scares me because
Yeah.
it was really hard with Jax, and I can't imagine it's going to be any easier with a bigger baby.
Well, at least the boys are older now because when you
Yes.
had Jack,
Matthew
Matt
was
was very small.
wasn't even 2 yet.
Yeah. So I think that maybe is a game changer too. Just a little optimistic push. I don't know. I'm reaching, but I'm going for anything I can.
I'm hopeful.
I mean, at least they can get up and get you stuff,
Yes,
little things.
Yeah, that would be big helps.
I hope so.
At least for the first couple of days before they're over it.
True.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't really have anything significant. Like, no, I mean, I'm not having a baby. But just life is overwhelming right now. I'm
Yeah.
school and work and nothing's even bad. It's just a lot.
It's just all of it.
Like, I feel like, I don't even know. Like, if it would just stop for just a second and I could just breathe, I could, like, revamp and get going again.
I need like 2 seconds.
I
I
need
need-
like a day.
I'm not even
I'm
trying
not
to be
y'all. I
greedy.
need the whole day.
Yeah, I need more than
Let me be greedy. I need the whole day.
But it's just been, I don't know. And the mental health thing. I mean, it's like the seasonal. It gets worse. It
Yes,
gets harder.
yeah.
And I can only imagine how much worse it would be if I didn't have like a supportive family and things. Like I know the holidays are harder for people without, you know, support systems or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I'm grateful, but it's crazy that it can still affect you in that way. Because I'd always thought that people got depressed at the holidays because they were lonely and things like that. But I don't know. Is it the weather? I don't know what it is, but it's
Yeah.
triggering and it's exhausting. So I'm going from either sleeping like a rock for 10 and 11 hours or
Not
90
sleeping at all.
minutes. There's
Yeah.
no rhythm whatsoever.
Yeah,
So.
that's me right now too. The whole sleeping hard or just not at all.
Well, you're growing a baby. What's my excuse?
We have a fucked up brain system that doesn't let us sleep.
Fair enough.
I was like, I had sleep issues before the baby.
Well, and
It's just gotten a lot worse.
that's part of what I'm having such a hard time with is 'cause I've never had sleep issues. I've always been the person that you give me a corner to go lay down in and I'm asleep and I don't ask for much. But now to have problems sleeping, it's bizarre to me to be so exhausted and your brain just won't turn off.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It might be a psychiatrist question. We'll see. But hopefully it'll just...
If you're a psychiatrist, put your comments in the comment section below.
What do I need to do to fix this? I'm over it.
Right. All right. So I guess we're all kind of feeling similar. My trial this week is I'm dealing with some emotional stuff.
All right, sorry, that's going to be a little bit, but we'll just start over with your trial.
All right. So for me this week, I am dealing with a lot of heavy emotional stuff in my personal life, which having a lot of heightened emotions is not something unusual for me, but I'll say it's a little different in that, first off, I don't want to get into it too much right now. I'm not there yet. But for me, a lot of the struggle is when you are a person that so many people, like you're their support system,
Mm-hmm.
how do you deal when you are the one who is
Needs the supporting.
who is in need of that support, or just when you are not able to give that way and people expect it or count on it.
Mm-hmm.
So like having it's so then it's like this. So then it's like you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, plus you're dealing with feeling guilty or bad for like letting anyone down that usually is depending on you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just a vicious, crappy cycle
Yeah.
of negative thoughts and
Well, like, as awful as it sounds, like, you just have to get comfortable with being selfish, for lack of better words.
yeah, I don't know.
If you're going through stuff and that's actually, you have to come first.
But it feels awful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Because you are a good person and you
It
feel
feels
good helping people.
bad. Like
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you've got to take care of your own mental health before you can fix someone else's.
I know, and we preach self-love on here a lot, and I understand that, but like it's one thing like knowing like this is how I should feel about this, you know, or like these are the things that I should be
Oh,
doing.
yeah, it's
versus
a hell of a lot harder to
this is
implement
how
than it
it
ever
is.
sounds. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just struggling with that and like again like breaking that cycle because obviously most of the time it's myself, my over critiquing of my own self that is causing this like guilt. Like no one is saying like, hey, you're letting us down right
Yeah.
now. You know what I'm saying? It's me. But so then it just starts like a negative cycle of negative thoughts, and then you know just when you think you're like getting okay to be over one thing, then it just kind of shifts into like a different position
Yeah.
or something, you know. So that's been interesting, but I mean I'm all right. I'm okay. I know. Like I also have the positive, like what is it, the angel or whatever, being like it's cool, you got this.
Your angel's a hippie.
Yeah, obviously. My angel is like buddy Jesus, like hey.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No.
It's a struggle and it's a balance. Because
yeah, that's what it is. I'm feeling unbalanced.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel
Get you some crystals.
Is that a thing?
The
Oh,
rocks,
why
the
would they have
gems.
hamburgers?
No,
Are you hungry?
Not that hungry.
not hungry enough to give up years and
That's
years of
so
veganism?
funny. I'm like, I thought, is there something I'm
No,
missing? Is that like a
like the-
commercial? Get some crystals. I don't know. I don't have cable. I thought I was
I would
missing
not
something.
suggest eating meat to make you feel better.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
I have a couple crystals. Maybe I need to pull them out. I go back and forth.
Get you
between,
some
like,
rose quartz or whatever. Help you feel grounded.
I like rose quartz. I like citrine too. That's
I don't
helps.
know what that one does.
I don't know anything. Like
It-
I've heard of it and I understand like
It's
the
also
concept, but I don't
grounding,
know
and
anything.
it's it can be like a protectant as
Interesting.
well. Like protect your vulnerable sides from
Time to
outside world.
start
Mhm.
carrying them.
I wore that a lot when I worked downtown
I
as
bet.
a hostess.
Oh yeah.
a lot. Because we would get all kinds
Yeah.
of crazy people. Even the people you worked with, you never know in the
Mhm.
restaurant business. Squirrely.
No,
peeps.
yeah, it's definitely.
Yep.
Well, I don't miss those days.
No. No.
So how do we get into this? So
All right. So what I wrote down first was that the people. I'm just gonna read it. I'm gonna read these off right here. The people, events, circumstances that make us who we are. They are not always necessarily positive, right? And who we are. And with life, you always have that balance. Like you have like yin, yang, good, and bad. So every opportunity can be an opportunity to make a shift, to make a change.
Mhm.
Like, you know, we've talked before, like we grew up being told like you can't like let excuses be like your reason. Like if you want something, go for it. So this topic was really interesting to me because it made me really think about all of it, like the good and the bad, because I don't have any good without having some kind
Yeah.
of bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
And obviously it made me think about our childhood and stuff a lot. So did anything in particular come up for you guys? I mean, we lived a similar childhood, so
Yeah, my biggest thing that kind of, I don't know if it actually clicks with what you were thinking, but my take on it
yeah.
is, and again, I feel like I always have to preface this, but like my dad is not a terrible person. He's made amends, he's come around, he's changed his life, he's amazing.
Right.
So this is not even like trying to sound negative or talk bad about him. But I grew up on my dad's side, it was very tumultuous. He was in and out of my life. He wasn't a constant, and he wasn't able to be the father that I needed him to be. And I found that probably high school, college age, a lot of people that had similar issues, whatever it may be, use it as a crutch
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I had a hard life.
Right.
And my take on it is you can either use it as an excuse or use it as a lesson.
Yes.
And so I always worked really hard to be intentional. I won't touch any sort of addictive medicines. I am very careful about how much I drink, things like that, because I want to be intentional about making positive choices.
Right.
So while he made crappy choices whenever I was a child, he still taught me a hell of a lot, more than
Right.
he'll probably ever realize. It probably wasn't the way that he intended to do so, but it did. Whether he showed me the right way or just what I didn't want to make my life, because, you know, he did recover or is in recovery. I think it's a constant thing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people choose not to.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to risk it. So I always made sure to be crazy careful because I know I have an addictive personality. You guys have seen I go my tanning, my coffee. Like I start a thing and it's like
It's a thing.
It has to
it's
be
a
a
thing.
thing.
Right.
I can't do like anything. It's all or nothing. So that has shaped me a lot into just who I am because I feel like you have to be intentional and you can't use things as a crutch. And I tell my kids this all the time. I tell all
Mm-hmm.
anybody that'll listen really, like that it's not an excuse.
Right.
So that's kind of my
See, whereas y'all remember more of the struggling growing up, is I remember less of that because Matt more
We're
came
older.
in whenever.
Mhm.
Yeah, you two. So
Or
we
younger.
struggled less. So whereas y'all remember all that, I don't. So my take on that is, I was spoiled. I was an asshole.
I mean, we all were a little bit.
But I was horrible as a child. Absolutely horrible.
You were also imbalanced.
Very much so. My hormones were all out of balance. I treated everyone like shit. And for some strange reason, Mom and Matt didn't give up. And that right there really helped me, like oh, once I've gotten older, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I definitely didn't notice it then, and I was horrible to them and everyone else. Just what kind of person I wanted to be
Yeah.
versus who I was becoming. And because because my hormones were all in balance and I was all fucked up. Explicit, sorry guys.
Explicit.
I felt as myself like I was worthless, so I seeked out partners
Yeah.
that made me feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And got myself in really bad situations and learned from it, and I could say I regret those people, but those people also helped me grow.
Right.
Do I
everyone
want
grows.
to run into that person again? Hell no.
Yeah.
Not a chance. But because of that person, I'm like, no, I deserve better.
Yeah. But not everyone grows.
Yeah.
You know? That's
I was with a
impressive.
drug addict who, amazingly, I never touched a drug at all. Nothing. He did everything.
Yeah.
I did nothing. And that I'm super proud about.
Right, but you don't regret it because he taught you what you don't want.
Absolutely.
Well, he didn't show you the lessons that you would hope to learn in a good, positive relationship.
Yes.
It taught you.
The lesson was still learned.
Mm-hmm.
Don't seek out don't seek the partner that you're feeling. Don't pick a worthless partner because that's how you feel about yourself. Don't pick a partner when you feel worthless, for one.
Mm-hmm.
true.
Yeah.
Grow yourself and then you find the partner, which is hard to figure out and it takes a while.
Yes. Maybe just don't rush into this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an ever-changing
Because
process,
then you
too.
get married and then you have custody and it's a nasty situation to have.
Yeah, it's difficult too.
Two different relationships. Let me clarify that real quick. The drug addict and the marriage part, two different things. But again, lessons I learned from each of those that made me who I am.
Right.
But now you're in a position to where you do value your worth.
Yes.
And I would hope
Most
you
of
would
them.
not accept that again.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I think I almost like even like little things like I was thinking about this. Do you remember I don't remember, like Heather said that she doesn't remember the hard times.
I
As much.
remember
And I
some, but not
probably-
nearly as much as I know you two do.
Yeah, and I probably do more, but less than Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was, it's a gradual growth and things change. But I was thinking of the sock basket. I don't know why,
I have a sock basket.
right? I don't, to explain, I don't put socks away.
surprisingly.
I just
keep
tossed them in
all
the basket.
I don't know. My mom did it. But she probably
It's
just didn't
funny.
have the damn time to
I
put
won-
all the socks away.
I wonder if she still has the sock.
I don't think
basket.
she
I don't
does.
know. She's probably grown and evolved. I'll get there one day. But it was so
Oh,
funny
God.
because I'm constantly buying socks and underwear.
Yep.
Socks and underwear.
Yep.
And I don't remember ever hurting for those things. But Mom did.
Mm-hmm.
And so she instilled it in me. And now I'm like terrified of it, something I've never experienced in my life.
I have clean underwear.
Always have to have clean underwear.
All the socks, they may not match, but they're socks.
So
I
yeah,
hate
that
Plenty
was
of
just
socks.
that was just like a whole like much less serious version, but it was like.
And
it just
now
came to
she's a
mind.
sock hoarder. Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
You broke me.
You know how many socks I actually threw away the other day? Because I was like, I did all the laundry. I did it all, guys.
Impressive.
All of it. And then I had all these socks, and like 30% of them had no matches. I was like, what happens to them? I'm gonna
Who
take
knows?
my dryer apart one day. I'm gonna find them all.
What would you say your sort of things
So
are?
I have a handful of things,
Mhm.
and as you know, I was born to our mother when she was very young,
Mhm.
and I was like second mommy to you guys
For sure.
to some
Yep.
extent, especially in the earlier days. So a lot of my things kind of have to do around that. A lot of that time shaped who I am as a person in big ways, and like one of those things is that we grew up poor, and you
Mhm.
guys might not remember some of the really hard struggles, but I do, and because of that, it has made me in my adult life pretty good at budgeting, and I am pretty good at saving. Like,
Mhm.
I don't make a lot, I still manage to save.
Yeah.
I am a saver. I'm a stash it away because you never know what shit is about to happen.
Yeah, mine, I don't remember it nearly as well as you do, but that just reminded me, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
you're fine.
But whenever I got in the car wreck,
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god, I have to buy a new car. Like, that's what happens when you total a car, you have to buy a new car. And I'm like flipping out because I'm like, how am I going to afford a new car? What am I going to do? What am I going to, but it's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I have to buy a new car. He's like, we have insurance. We're financially stable adults.
Well, you're like, what does that
Like-
mean?
He's like, we're good.
Right.
And like, it took convincing that I could buy another car. Like,
Yeah.
That's
I really
it's
do.
funny
because I'm
you say
terrified.
that,
It's like in my head that no, I don't have the money.
because I had a car run out in front of me. They were completely at fault. Let me make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Bobby's truck, and I freaked. I don't know if y'all remember me texting y'all this, but it was raining that day. They drove out in front of me and stopped in front of me.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one was to the lane next to me, and I was able to yank
Swerve
the
over.
truck over. But all I could do, I was like, crap, I don't want to ruin his truck. You know, this is the one we're paying on. And I had talked to Bobby. He's like, it's just a truck. He was
Yeah.
like, it's completely covered. I have gap insurance. He was like, if something happens, we get a new truck. Please,
Nice.
totally, just don't hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
But it is.
I was like, I can't. In my, like,
Mhm.
I will do everything to avoid that wreck because I don't. To me, it's like, oh my god, we have to buy something new.
Right.
Well, because
And
we lived
it's
in
just
a
that.
situation that a car accident or losing a vehicle would be
It
detrimental.
was
Yes.
a loss of a lot of things. Well, and that's kind of where I was getting at with the things that kind of make us who we are. They kind of have a balance to them. Maybe they start off in a negative light, but somehow a positive can come from that. Or maybe,
Mhm.
maybe it's something you just work through, and maybe something doesn't end up exactly how you want it to, but you still learn from it. Like, it's
Yeah.
a lesson.
I think I'm a lot less wasteful
Oh,
than
yeah.
I would be. You
Yes.
know, we like save money and
Oh, you said wasteful. I was like, oh, so you don't bring home leftovers from restaurants now?
shut up.
She still doesn't eat her leftovers. Don't listen to her.
No.
I'm not believing that for a second. That's something that Shannon got out of us growing up poor, is that she cannot eat leftovers. I can eat spaghetti for a week straight.
Yep.
I don't understand it. Like, well, not most, I can't really generalize, I don't know. But what I've heard, a lot of people who struggle financially will take their leftovers and eat it because you don't want to waste anything.
Mhm.
And that's, I love the idea behind it.
But you're just over it.
But I'm over it.
Yeah.
I don't, like you were talking, you could eat the same thing for a week,
No big
whatever,
deal.
no big deal. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I was
I'll
ordering
eat some
DoorDash
leftovers.
the day after Thanksgiving
Which
because
is
I was
kind
not eating leftovers.
Right. Which is kind of interesting too, because I love, that we could have all kind of went through similar childhood, similar situations, but on our outcome and how we perceive and what we've
Mhm.
done with it, or how we, how it conveys into our adult life could be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we grew up poor. It taught me how to budget. I can budget. I can stretch some meals.
Mm-hmm.
I can save, but also on the flip side of that, I have incredible anxiety when it comes to money. I don't like money exchanges. If you know me as like a crafter, I would rather trade
Barter.
something than to exchange money.
Yeah.
It always makes me uncomfortable. I always get incredible anxiety when there's a big purchase too.
Mhm.
Like,
Same.
No matter how much it's needed,
Couple
how much
$100,
you know you
couple
can afford
grand.
it.
I
I'm
get
freaking out.
anxiety, like, and Bobby always tells me,
Even
don't
if we
ever
have
worry
it.
about asking me for money. Is it's not something we worry about. Not that we're like well off
Right.
or anything, but he was like, look, you know where the savings account is. He was like, you don't have to be nervous to ask me. I was like, you've seen what I've went through. You've seen my ex. You've seen
Well, and that's more because
yes.
of your ex. Yeah.
Again, why I am who I am. And he's like, look, I will not get mad. If you need $50 to fill your truck up, take $50.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't have to ask. I'm like, no. If I'm spending $20, $30, I've got to, like,
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with it. My ex. He never said I couldn't spend if I needed $30. Like, now he will, but.
right.
But, like, while we were together, no. But if I needed gas, I could go get gas. But now I'm like, no, that's your bank account. It's yours. So if I need to touch it, I need to tell you. He was like, it's really not a big deal. But I'm like, to me it is.
Yeah.
It's yours. I've got mine. He was like, no, yours is yours, mine is ours. I was like, but he was like, yours is just your money. He was like, mine takes care of everything. I was like, oh, okay.
I get that. Like, he's the breadwinner.
Yes.
He brings home the bacon.
He brings home the big bacon. I bring home the bits.
You bring home the bits, the crackling.
Yep.
I know. I have said before that, like, my husband's never made me feel bad about anything money-wise. Never been an issue. He might not love how much I go to Starbucks, but that's and that's valid. I don't like how much I go to Starbucks, and I still find my way, like, there. But
It's like, you could just drive and you're like, oh,
You see
how
that
to
mermaid,
get in this line.
right? You see that mermaid and you gotta go for it.
yeah. But then anytime that there's any conversation that has to happen about money, like, it can be like, what are we doing with bonuses this year? Like, is this much going to savings? Completely neutral. I feel like I'm being attacked.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know where it comes from. Like, I do because I know that money is taboo to me. And it's not to him because he grew up so different.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah. I
it's
feel
interesting to see how those dynamics work together.
that. So that being said, growing up with a single parent taught me a few other things.
Mhm.
Okay, taught me how to hustle. Taught me I can make it on my own, no matter what I'm dealing with. And it taught me independence. It gave me a strong sense of self. It gave me a strong sense of community because we had to work together so much. Like
It's a
we had to
village.
make things work. And like mom worked a lot. I was home with you guys
Mm-hmm.
in those earlier days, especially, and like it taught me to care for others, and it really has kind of shaped who I am as an adult. And how I show love, like acts of
you're
service is my
incredibly
love
nurturing.
language,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from that.
Mhm.
So, like, you could say some negative things, like, you know, yeah, it was hard for us. Yeah, we were poor. There were some real lean times for sure. But on the flip side of that, if we didn't have that, would we be as like strong, independent women?
Yeah, I
As we
wouldn't
are.
change it at all.
No.
I mean, maybe mom would have preferred to have changed it, but I don't know. I've worked for everything that I have. Like, I've never taken advantage or taken for granted
Right.
having a car or things like that because I had to work my butt off if I wanted them. And seeing that in comparison to other people in classes with me that were just given things, I definitely appreciate things a lot more. And I wouldn't want to be that kind of person.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, again, on the flip side of that, because we just got to see both sides.
We got lots of sides.
This kind of like has given me some conflicts in the past because while even though I am independent, because I am, you know, a people pleaser, I've definitely had situations that I've gotten myself into where I've gotten taken advantage of a lot. Or I've been in situations where I've been, you know, had relationships where I am not valued as much as I
One-sided.
should be
Mhm.
valued. And, you know, like you were saying, Heather, how can you see that you're not being valued when you don't value yourself,
Mhm.
you know? So yeah, that has kind of had that like a little bit of a negative side, but in the long run, honestly, I'd rather be strong, and independent
Mm-hmm.
than to feel like, you know, I'm being taken advantage of, or that I can't do it on my own. Like, I never want to feel like I can't do it on my own. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It might be hard, but I can do it. And that might be, you know, that might be my drive, really, through life, period. Is that you fucking can do it. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. We
I
weren't like arguing. I don't remember exactly how it came up, but what did Ben say? I think he's like, oh, you don't need me anymore, and I was like, whoa, I want you.
Yeah.
I don't need you. You're a choice.
Yeah.
Every day, and I love you, but no.
No. Get it right.
No, I've out of the three of us, I think on the longest I did it on my own for the longest. I did the two jobs.
Mhm.
I did the own roof over our heads. I did food on the table. Like, it was all me.
Yeah, that was some hustle. You're right.
And I worked 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Ugh, that crappy job.
Shit was hard. I didn't get to see my kids, and that shit sucked.
Mhm.
But they were well taken care of. I knew that. Let me make
Right.
that clear. I knew they were taken care of. But I did what I had to do to make sure I was good and my kids were good, and we had a roof over our head and decent food on the table.
Right.
But you can't just not.
Try.
Yeah.
You can't just, like, I don't know. We have a really hard time, obviously. I think all of us feel this way. We have a hard time with people, like, yeah, life is hard. Everyone gets to have a mental health day. I'm for that.
Mhm.
But I'm not for people who want to complain, but then
Not do anything
take
to fix it.
Yeah, take no initiative. Take no initiative, or worse than that, the kind of people that want to put their problems and their issues on you like it's your problem or something that you have done or caused them.
Mhm.
Like, and I've been in that position where I'm like, oh, what, me? Oh, I'm so sorry, you know? And no, I'm telling you right now, you don't have to take acceptance for things that have nothing to do with you. Like, everyone is in charge of their own life and their own feelings. I guess that's it. In rant.
Yeah. But another thing I was thinking about is that Mom did have difficult, obviously, you know,
In
difficult
relationships.
relationships.
Romantic relationships.
Oh yeah, to clarify, romantic relationships. And I find that being vulnerable is very difficult for me.
Yes.
Which I don't really know. I can't think of the positive side of that. I'm sure there is, but seeing that, like, it's hard for me because I've seen that people can leave and people do suck sometimes.
Yes.
People suck a lot.
That it's really hard to put your guard down. Like, it's something I even still struggle with to this day. I mean, I'm married and
Right.
we're reasonably healthy, I think. I don't know. You never. We're
This
both a
is
little crazy.
interesting that you are bringing up vulnerability, because now I feel, I mean, if you guys know me, like, I'll talk to anyone about anything. You want to know my life history? Let's get into it. I'm for it. But something does kind of come up where if I feel it at all, like any kind of threatened,
Mm-hmm.
then I
You
will
shut down.
wall up.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I will wall up. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you. I need some space.
Yep.
And I feel that and it's very weird because usually I am. I'm open. I'm hard on my sleeve. What do you want to know? What do you want to get into? But if I feel at all any kind of threat, any kind of, like, and when I say threat, I mean, like, my heart is threatened, or you know, my intelligence is threatened, then yeah, I wall up real quick. I, like, zip it up, and I get this, like, don't let them see you cry kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, I don't, like, if you're in a fight or something, say with your significant other, like, I don't want to be held.
Oh,
I don't want to be
no.
coddled. I might be crying, but I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Because it's that wall that I can do it myself. I don't need you.
Yeah.
wall.
And that's probably, I don't know if you'd call it positive because it doesn't really come from the best place.
But it's
But
a
I
protection.
have an incredible work ethic because
Oh, yeah.
I will never,
Yeah.
ever allow myself to be in a situation where I do need you. And it's not all about that. I actually enjoy working, and it's like myself and things like that. But that's a large part of it, is that I will always make sure that I can be financially stable. I mean, I might have an incredibly different lifestyle,
Right.
but we won't starve.
No, ain't nobody
So-
starving.
And I'm pretty sure he's not going to wake up tomorrow and decide he doesn't want me. But if he did, emotionally, I'd be a mess. But financially, I'm good.
You're good. You got
Yeah,
this.
you'll be fine.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess it sucked that mom had to go through everything, but she instilled an amazing drive.
Oh yeah, and honestly, that's at the bottom of my notes. Life hasn't been easy, but we've learned perseverance.
For sure. 100%. Because of that. And it's like
You gotta keep on keeping on.
I hate that she went through it, but at least there is a positive, you know.
Yeah,
I always try to put an optimistic spin on things. So there you go,
me
Mom.
too.
Those men might have sucked, but look at us.
Also, so let me circle back around. You had talked about your dad a little bit, and same with my dad. So my dad was not super great in the picture, and because of that, I'll definitely say that I have like conflicting. I don't know, like a conflicting outlook on relationships and stuff because of that. And I think that could be why I have such a gung-ho, we can do it, girl power kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's,
I get called out for that sometime. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, you're Jew feminist or whatever, which is kind of silly. But
Well, no, like
honestly, that's where it comes from. It comes from having, and I'm not trying to hate on men or whatever, but it comes from having men in my life, in my young adult life, and seeing the same negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be in a position that you are dependent, or I don't know. I don't know like a way to say it without sounding hateful. And I
know.
I truly don't mean to sound hateful, but at the end of the day, all you got is you.
Yes. That's not hateful. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt's texting me. He's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I'm at Tiffany's podcasting." And we got Jack a new bike for his birthday. He was like, "I've got a kid out here killing me to ride this bicycle."
Oh.
And I said, "He can ride it if Nova's watching." He's like, "She's inside."
Oh, it's
Well,
weird
Poppy,
outside.
put on your big boy pants and be
He's
Poppy.
got work to do.
Text Nova.
That's silly. But I don't know. I was actually talking to one of my girls yesterday about us and how differently we reacted to things growing up, and that just everybody, even in the same situation, everybody's built differently. Everyone's gonna deal don't
Everyone
compare
copes
yourself to
differently.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like a cool time for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so should we wrap into triumphs?
I think so. Everyone feels like they pretty much said why they are the way they are.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I'll go first, but very lackluster
Yeah.
triumph. Life is just weird,
It is.
but we survived Thanksgiving, and I got some
Yay.
Christmas shopping done.
Yeah.
Actually, I was able to have a really productive weekend, and I got caught up on a lot of schoolwork, so
Good on you.
feeling better, at least about that one tiny part of my life. So, we'll see.
I'm done Christmas shopping.
Oh,
You're done?
that's so good.
Aside from the little stocking stuffers, basically, I'm done. Maybe I'll pick up an outfit here or there just because, but no, we're done.
Little this and that if you see
That's
it.
nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. I have got my triumph is also shopping related. Hello, everyone did a weekend full of Thanksgiving shopping
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Mostly from a couch.
Yeah.
Really, if I'm being honest, from a
way
bed.
too many orders. So
Yeah.
I
It's
had
all
like
the
8
boxes.
packages arrive yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad."
I know.
I walked into my living room. I work in my bedroom, so I walked into the kitchen today, and my entire counter is covered in boxes,
Nice.
Amazon boxes. I didn't order anything.
Oh,
Not one thing was for me.
did your husband order?
Yeah, I was like, and I'm the one who was the problem. Apparently, he went to order this, and this, but forgot that this, and this was
Needed
in
this,
the cart.
this, and that.
Oh.
You didn't forget shit in the cart. You wanted it.
Oh, so did he do shopping for everyone else, or he did shopping for himself?
Random ass stuff. Socks and a cordless leaf blower because apparently the cord is very inhibiting. I don't know.
We have one of those. I will say it's kind of handy.
Yeah, I saw this like limb trimmer that's like electric, but it's like it looks like a big fancy scissor.
Yeah.
I want that so bad. I get these like little junk trees that grow up out of nowhere, like in a
But
season.
it's electric?
Yes.
That sounds
Nice.
dangerous.
And it just like honk right through it.
Oh.
I know, I want it so
The
bad.
crime side of me goes, I wonder if I can go through bone.
Oh, girl. We could
Ew.
test it with like some
What are you testing it on?
chicken bones
Where are you getting the chicken?
from your house.
I get boneless.
Oh.
Oh.
Ugh,
See,
little
She's bougie.
flopping around chickens.
She's willing
Ain't
to
got no
pay for the
bones.
boneless.
Because most of my meals I do like a shredded chicken or just like
I'm just playing.
Make
You
my
shred
life-
that shit off the bone.
I was just
Hell
joking.
no,
I
it
really
takes
don't
too
want to be
much.
trying to cut through no bones for real.
I know. I found it a little odd that you would like say
I watch a lot of
you
true
won't
crime.
eat the chicken,
Yes,
but
that's
once
mine
it's dead
too.
and gone.
I'm just, but it's my curious
and
side.
chicken bones can be too easy to get through.
You're
You
right.
can snap that with
We
your
need
hands.
something. We need something sturdier. We need a people bone.
Where are you getting the people?
All
No,
right.
I'm just joking. Anyhow, so yeah, that was mine too. Like we got through some shopping. It was a long weekend, so caught up on some house stuff. Pulled out the Christmas, which was nice. Wrapped all the presents that were not for my kids. So
I'm probably gonna
it
do
looks
most
like
of that this
there's
weekend.
a bunch under our tree, but there's not. It's for everyone else.
Oh, my baby shower's this weekend.
I know.
my
that's
my
exciting.
drive-by baby shower because
COVID.
damn COVID.
Darn
That's
it.
exciting though. That's gonna be fun.
Although I think that's a good thing because there's a policy. I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna be obnoxious with trying to put an optimistic spin. But you know that your baby shower when you can only say oohs and ahs so many times
Yeah,
as
true.
you're opening gift after gift after gift. Like at least it'll be spread out.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a live video on Facebook for opening.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you're gonna have to still ooh and ah.
Oh, you have fun with that. I swore I would never do it again. I mean, I'm not because I didn't. But if I had another baby,
Nah.
Come on,
No.
let's make it grandbaby 8 for mom.
no.
Mom would hate that. Come on, jeez. Stop having so many grandkids. She
We
can't
gotta make
spoil
the
them
number
if she's got
even.
that
Let's
many.
go. Working, y'all.
Oh my
come
god,
on.
I forgot to tell you guys. This is hysterical. So I was in the middle of like a heart to heart with Zoe yesterday.
Good.
And it was good. It was productive. It was
Yeah.
good. But at the end of it, she started joking about I don't even know what I said. I think I said something along the lines of like my hands are full with you guys or something like that. And she's like, "Well, what if you have another baby?" And I'm like, "But I won't."
Mhm.
Like, no, we made the choice not to. You're good. You don't have anybody else to compete with. And she's like, well, not to give away too much, but she's going through puberty and things like that. Hormones change, whatever. She's like, did you go through that change? And I was like, what?
Oh.
No, I've not gone through menopause.
Aw.
Jesus. I was like-
That's so cute. Well, you know, we're so old.
My kid thinks I'm old enough to
Oh.
go through menopause.
It's okay. Matthew asked me, "Were you live for the first Christmas this morning?"
Oh, that's adorable. I loved
I was
when
like,
he,
"No, I wasn't."
I loved his question about who are Mimi's kids.
Oh,
Why doesn't Mimi have any kids?
yeah. He said Mimi doesn't have any kids. I was like, "Buddy, I'm Mimi's kid." And then Jack peeps up. He goes, and Jack goes, "We're Mimi's sons." I was like, "No, you're my sons." They're like,
funny.
"Oh,
That's so cute. I miss when mine said cute stuff.
Zoe,
Yeah,
Now they're like, I'm
attitude.
lucky to get a grunt.
Brianna completely like roasted me today. Apparently,
Oh, dang.
she's going to Grandma Gail's for cooking dinner or something along those lines. And she's like the best cook. And I was like, yeah, she is a good cook. She is. She's my ex-mother-in-law, but she's
Still
a good cook.
Yeah.
I did not starve when she was around. Not even a little bit. And she's like, yeah, I really love her cooking. You know, like, you're like make some macaroni mom. But she, like, cooks. Thanks.
that's awesome."
Were you like, but I thought you loved macaroni.
She's like, be rude. Like,
But it was.
the not to be rude is the new no offense.
Oh, I
Like-
hate both of those.
So yeah. Anyway, but we should probably wrap this up,
Yes.
and
I
we
go
will see you
cook
guys
dinner.
next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And I want to say this the entire podcast.